Hello, everybody. My name is Wenda Sheard. I'm with the League of Women Voters of Athens County. Welcome to this Meet the Candidates event for the Troy Township Trustee race. We hope that this event will provide you with information for the upcoming election. 5 candidates are running for 2 seats on the Troy Township Board of Trustees. Voters may each vote for 2 of the candidates. The candidates participating tonight are Harold Causey, Leroy Guess, and Charles Lance. We appreciate these candidates for taking time out of their busy schedules to participate with us tonight. The other 2 candidates are Brandon Russell and Mike Putman. Now, please make sure that you have a voting plan for this November's election. Early voting started this week at the Board of Elections office on Court Street. If you want to vote by mail, you must submit a written absentee ballot request. The absentee ballots are now being mailed to voters who have requested them. Election day is Tuesday, November 2nd. You can verify your polling place by checking online or by contacting the Board of Elections office in Athens. In addition to candidate events, our league publishes a voter's guide in which candidates provide written answers to questions. Our voter's guide is currently available online at vote411.org and was recently published in both the Athens News and the Athens Messenger. The voter's guide lists all the races and the issues that will appear on the ballot in Athens County. The League of Women Voters is dedicated to expanding public awareness about government issues, and also encouraging active participation in government. The League does not support or oppose political parties or candidates. Despite our name, the League is not for women only. We welcome support and participation from all people. Please visit us on our website, Athens County League of Women Voters.org, to learn more about the League and possibly to become a member. If you appreciate our candidates events and our voters guides, please consider making a donation to our website to support all of our local work. Thank you. Now I'll turn this candidates event over to our moderator, League member Rick Wasserman. Rick?
Thank you so much, Wenda. Tonight's Meet the Candidates event. I want to welcome everyone to the event. I'll begin by explaining our procedures, which were agreed to by all the participants in advance. Tonight, each candidate will be given a 2-minute introductory statement, followed by a series of 3 questions. The candidates were given these questions yesterday and will have 2 minutes to answer each one. Once a candidate has answered all 3 questions, we'll move on to the next candidate in alphabetical order. The candidates can see our timekeeper, who will indicate when the speaker has 30 seconds remaining, 10 seconds remaining, and when their time is up. If a candidate continues speaking after their time is up, I will say thank you, and we'll move on. Candidates are invited to share their qualifications for the position and their experience, and talk about their plans and/or proposals. Candidates were asked to focus on topics relevant to the stated question and to avoid personal attacks and raising issues that are unrelated to the office being sought. If they go outside these guidelines, we may stop them and remind them of the guidelines. There are 5 candidates running for Troy Township Trustee. There are 2 positions available. 2 people will be elected. Tonight, we have 3 of those candidates here, Harold Causey, Leroy Guess, and Charles Lance. The other 2 candidates are unable to join us this evening. The first candidate in alphabetical order is Harold Causey. Mr. Causey, you have 2 minutes for your introductory statement.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody at the League of Women Voters for putting on this forum so they can inform our voters of what kind of candidates they are voting for. Hi, my name is Harold Causey. I'm a lifelong resident of Coolville area. I'm married to my wife, Lisa. We've been married for 34 years. We have one wonderful daughter, Sierra, who's a lawyer in Cincinnati. I've graduated from Federal Hocking High School. I also went to Tri County Vocational School, and I got a certificate in agriculture mechanics while I was there. I took some college classes at my present job for maintenance and at WVUP. But anyways, I started off my career. I worked with Athens County Engineers. I did that part-time coming out of school, and that lasted about a year and a half, where we worked on roads and maintained them. And then I proceeded on to a full-time job. I worked in Athens at an automotive machine shop, and I moved on from there to a better paying job to Nashville Photo. I worked there for 10 years, and then technology took over, and I just knew it was just going to be an ending job. So I moved on. I've got a job at DuPont, and I work Chemours. I work there as a utilities and environmental manager, where we take care of a manufacturing facility of over 1,200 acres. So we supply all their needs as far as utilities, anything from water to electric to steam. So thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you for that opening statement. I'm going to go ahead and begin with the questions now, if that's all right with you. The first question, and everybody will be answering the same questions. What is the biggest challenge facing Troy Township today, and how do you intend to address it?
Well, I think as with any government, your biggest issue is always going to be funding. I think it's going to be the biggest issue. I think the fiscal officer we have, Jim Ford, does a wonderful job in keeping up with our township keeping it within our budget. As we all feel, no one wants to pay higher taxes or more taxes, and I'm included in that group. So we got to create other ways to create money to do things we need to do. One way is to trying to secure grants for projects. If we can secure grants, that we can also use that extra money that we're saving back for other things in the township. And I think also updating our township infrastructure and even broadband could help attract new businesses, which could add to our tax base. And it's also very important right now that our residents fill out their census form. We are getting them now, and I've got one, and it's very important to fill those out, because it definitely makes a difference on the tax base that you get in your township. So thank you.
All right, thank you. One of the main duties of township trustees is to maintain roads, which can include keeping weeds trimmed and intersections clear. What do you think the Troy Township trustees could do better to improve the conditions of the roads and intersections?
Well, I think the continuation of chip and seal our roads is a big plus, which they have been doing it, and it is very nice. But when you chip and seal a road, it vastly improves the road, and it makes them a lot more maintenance free. As far as intersection goes, to keep them safe, you have to keep that intersection very visible, as far as cleaning the brush around it and maintaining the proper signage. That way, you're coming up to an intersection, stop signs and so forth. Now, speaking of weeds being mowed, it's hard to keep up for those guys in the summertime, because you got 3 guys, and during the summer, one of the guys are almost constantly mowing cemeteries. So you're down a guy. And as a township trustee, you gotta support those other 2 guys during the summer, whether it's trying to get them extra help or me myself getting out mowing help, which I am very willing to do. Because I know from experience our road gets overgrown, and that sometimes our actual neighbors, thank God they have tractors, they mow our yard for us. But as a township trustee, definitely when you're over a certain area, you need to drive those roads and inspect them yourself. I mean, that's basically what you get paid for. And, you need to get out there and see for yourself what kind of roads that you are dealing with. And if you see issues, you can address those at that time. Thank you.
Thank you. The third and final question. The federal government is providing American Rescue Plan funds to townships directly, and that is part of the Ohio COVID-19 relief effort. Excuse me. What would you like to see done with those funds in Troy Township?
Well, I feel these funds should be used in a way that benefits everybody in our community. I mean, because ultimately everybody in our community are contributing to these funds through taxes, so they should be able to get a part of those funds back. The government has made it very challenging to use these funds. I mean, for an entity like a township, their two main purposes is roads and cemeteries. And with these funds, you can't really use it on either one of those, which it's kind of tough. The most popular one I think right now is our broadband. Our broadband is so out of date. Our broadband service is very antiquated and just needs updated. Another one that could be under the storm water title, which is one of the listings in the American Rescue Plan. And, to me, that would be ditches, which would definitely be help a lot of our roads, whether it's money going towards clearing our ditches or money to buy culverts or, equipment to make it easier to clean our ditches. So that's another one. But another big one for me would be our volunteers around here. Our volunteer fire department, I can't give them enough credit. They're very good people. They give up their time and sometimes they risk their lives to help people. And if we can help them with PPE and things like that, that would be a big plus. And we also have another small nonprofit here, Restore Coolville. And these fine ladies and gentlemen try to clean Coolville up. They have cleaning days through the year. They have Christmas. They have a Christmas parade, and it's Christmas in the village, and they also plant flowers and stuff to help beautify our community, to make it more homely and they're homey. I'm sorry, and to make it a better place and a nicer place to call home. So, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Causey. We're going to move on to the next candidate. That is Mr. Leroy Guess. Mr. Guess, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and give your opening 2-minute statement.
All right, can you hear me now? Okay.
You're doing just fine. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Leroy Guess. I'm 64 years old, getting ready to retire here at the end of the year. And I thought this would be a good thing to get into with a township trustee. I did 8 years prior to getting elected out a couple years ago. So I thought I'd run again since I'm retiring and I want to get back into it again. And it gives me a chance to spend more time at the township building, helping the guys out, doing all that. And I got like 35 years of maintenance experience. I'm a maintenance supervisor in a nursing home over in Parkersburg. I went, like Mr. Causey says, I went to Federal Hocking High School. I graduated from Troy County in mechanics, ag mechanics. It was about the same as he did. And got tons of years of experience. I did HVAC, I did small engine repair. I did a little bit of everything you can think of, electrical, HVAC, you name it, I've done it pretty much. So I'm kind of like him. And kudos to him for all the things he's done too. So it sounds like he's got the same thing going on too. So I really want to get back into the township and help the taxpayers keep our roads up and looking good. And kudos to all the people that's currently in there too. They did a good job for us. But you never know. It's time for a change sometimes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to go ahead and go through the same 3 questions that we had Mr. Causey answer. One of the biggest challenges the biggest challenges facing Troy Township, and how would you address them?
Well, unlike Mr. Causey, how to spend our taxpayers' money wisely. That's one of the big things. And when I was in there before, that watching the budget real careful and make sure we spend the money in the right places to make sure that everybody gets their money's worth for what little bit of money that the township gets from our township and our few gas stations and stores that we have. We get a little bit from them, and it's all about spending it correctly and for the right reasons, and taking care of our taxpayers and our cemeteries and all that. Thank you on that one.
Thank you. One of the main duties of township trustees is to maintain the roads that are in fact the township roads. And that can include keeping weeds trimmed and intersections clear. What do you think the Troy Township trustees could do to improve the conditions of the roads and the intersection?
Well, kind of like Mr. Causey said in the beginning, we want to keep the roads mowed well, like to get them mowed once or twice, 3 times a year. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Hopefully, if I get in there, I can get down and help them mow roadsides, keep the intersections clean of brush. And that's probably one of the hardest things they face a year. They got the one guy that all he does is work on the cemeteries pretty much year round. He does have a whole lot of time to do the roadside mowing, but I'm hoping this time around, for if I get in there as trustee, is get in the tractor and keep the roads mowed back a little bit more often than we used to. So that's probably one of the biggest things that we could do.
All right. And then the final question, the federal government is providing American Rescue Plan funds to townships in Ohio to help with the COVID-19 relief. What would you like to see done with those funds in Troy Township?
Well, I think one of the biggest things, like Mr. Causey said, we're pretty much all looking at the same thing, I guess, is get better equipment for the guys to use, newer equipment. Back when I was there a few years back, we had a lot of older equipment. We didn't have good equipment. I think they're starting to get some new stuff now. Equipment means a lot. Like he said there a while ago, more chip and seal done. We used to do a rotation. We do so many roads this year and we do another set of roads next year. Maybe we could get enough money. We could do all our township roads in a year. Sometimes that's not the case, but you never know if we can use that money for that. I'm not really a whole sure that that's what we can use it for. Maybe we can use it for having more things that we could do with collecting the tires. I remember a couple, 3 years ago that they brought in a big truck and collected all the tires from the township. That was a big thing. We had a whole load of old tires, clean up the environment here in Troy Township. That means a lot, getting them old tires and the dumps and stuff cleaned up like we had in the past. Not sure if we got with the health department and they came in and helped set that up too, to clean up a lot of the dumps we have here in Troy Township. But that's what I was hoping we could use that money for. I'm not really sure what they earmarked it for, but I will find out. I believe that's all I have.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We're just zipping along here.
Yep.
Our third and final candidate is Charles Lance. Mr. Lance, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, it's your turn to give a 2-minute opening statement.
Well, good evening, all. I just got a couple things to say. I'm retired now. I've been retired for 2 years. I worked 35 years as a heavy equipment operator on highway and construction. I was foreman. I pulled maintenance on equipment. I got a CDL Class A endorsement so I could help with especially the snow removal when it dumps a bucket of snow. And as far as being available, I've been available all the time because, like I said, I am retired. I'm looking for something to do because I'm getting bored. That's about my statement.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions that we asked the other 2 candidates. What do you see as the biggest challenge facing Troy Township, and how would you propose to address it?
Well, the biggest challenge is probably the mowing of a summer, snow removal of a winter. And again, like I said, I'd be there to be able to help if needed. That's about all I've got on that.
All righty. Again, one of the main duties of the township trustees is to maintain the roads, which can include keeping weeds trimmed and intersections clear. What do you think the Troy Township trustees could do to improve the condition of the roads and intersections in the township?
Well, again, and the mowing back to be able to see at an intersection would be nice. Widening some roads. I've been traveling some of these roads, and yeah, they are chip and sealed, but there's one road that just comes to mind. It's Blair Road down here. There's a school bus driver that lives on that road. You meet that school bus driver, somebody's going to be backing up. To me, it's very much needed to make it wide enough for a school bus driver and a car on any township road.
Okay, thank you so much. Last question is about the ARPA funds. The federal government is providing American Rescue Plan funds to townships in Ohio to help with COVID-19 relief. What would you propose to do with those funds here in Troy Township?
Well, it depends on how much money they're willing to give and what you could use it for. I mean, you know, maintenance is very high on the equipment. I've owned a hoe and trucks and stuff myself. And, you know, you can spend $300 real fast just in keeping the fluid and stuff changed in a piece of machinery. You have a tire blow, you're looking a couple hundred, maybe $300 to replace that tire. Like I said, just, I don't know how much or where the money's got to go to. And again, they're talking about the broadband. I'm not real good on this because I don't use internet or nothing else. But it just depends on what you're allowed to use it for. And I'm sure that it would be to the best of anybody's knowledge when it comes in, how much it comes in would be used to help Troy Township. Thank you.
All right, thank you. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's probably a couple of $100,000 based on the population of the township, but I'm not 100% sure of that. Well, we don't have any more candidates to ask any more questions to, so we're going to begin to close out the event. I have a question that I wonder if anyone can answer. Been a lot of talk about cemeteries here. How many cemeteries are there in Troy Township? Does anybody know?
I believe there's 9, aren't they?
9. Wow.
Off the top of my head, I do not know.
Yes, that is correct.
There is 9.
Yes.
Yes.
9. That's a lot of cemeteries. All righty. Well,
Yes.
And the
Coolville,
I'd like
the Coolville one down there, Coolville's 10 acres.
Yeah, it's pretty big. All righty. Well, if you just go ahead and mute just for another minute here, I'd like to first of all thank all of you for taking part in tonight's event. It's real good for the voters to be able to see this. This is, I believe, going to be published on YouTube or somewhere where people can look up the event. So even folks who are not listening in tonight will still be able to view this. I think that it's also real good. All of you, I hope, responded to the questionnaire that was published in the paper, because that's also an important way that voters get to find out what everybody thinks and what they want to do. So I guess, it's the League of Women Voters of Athens County Facebook page and website that this will be published on. See, that was part of my script and I just skipped right over it there. We all urge everyone watching to make a voting plan now. Early voting is available now and all the way through Election Day, which is on November 2nd. You can vote early at the Athens County Courthouse Annex in town. And if you either call them 592-3201 or check their website, you can find out the hours for that early voting. You can check the voter guide for the League of Women Voters at vote411.org. That's www.vote411.org for a full list of races and issues in Athens County. And well, we just want to thank you. I don't know. I'll pass it back to Wenda, I guess, for the rest of the whatever else needs to be said.
I just want to thank everybody for being here. It's been lovely, and good night.